guys, welcome back. It's time for a little truck talk with Troy. I got a situation. Last year I went on a keto diet and I started at 280.4 and I got all the way down to 202.2, and I did that by like May or June, and I was feeling fantastic, doing great, and just kind of cruised through the summer. We went on vacation and kind of sloughed off on diet a little bit, and then we got back home and sloughed off even more and kind of muddled back and forth, up and down. And then in November of 2019 we lost my uncle, and I just kind of got a little depressed there, and I stopped doing the diet altogether. And since November of last year I've already put back on, let's see, 65 pounds basically, and or no, 75, no, 65, yeah, 65 pounds. This morning I weighed in at 276.4, and 276.4, and it's kind of a problem. I can't do it anymore. I was feeling great. It was helping my back. I was able to walk twice as far as when I was heavy, and I got all the way down to a size large shirt and in size 32 jeans and most things from a size 48. Currently I'm back up to a 38 jean and a 3X t-shirt again. I'm not very happy with my situation, and I did it to myself. So I'm gonna kickstart my journey here. We're on October 13th of 2020, and I know some of it was kind of quarantine weight, but can't blame it on that. It was just pure laziness on my behalf. So kickstarting it back, I'm gonna go hardcore keto again, and this time I'm going to try and keep on keto and just change my calorie count for the day once I get down to what I want to be at, and I gotta stick with it. So that's part of why I'm posting a video on it, is for accountability's sake. So if you see me eating junk food, get on me about it. So a little peer pressure never hurts in that matter. Even my friend, he's actually started keto this year, and well, he kind of went off and on, back and forth, but he dropped, I think, like 65 pounds or something like that. And we were joking around, and he said, man, every time I lose the weight you find it, and every time you lose the weight I find it. So it just kind of hit me then that, oh crap, I've really gotten heavy again. And I'll post a picture with this video that to show my transformation. Last year I got kind of a collage put together of 280.4 down to, I think it was 215 whenever I took the last picture, maybe 208. I didn't get a picture at my actual 202, but I know my parents were on me saying, oh, you're getting too skinny and you're starting to look unhealthy. But part of that was I hadn't really built up the muscle to replace, like in my face, because I got really skinny in my face. But I was feeling fantastic, and I want to get back to that. So all it takes is just making that step. So this morning I haven't had breakfast yet. I'm going to do intermittent fasting with it like I did last year. And just in January alone, we started January 2nd of 2019, my wife and I both, and from January 2nd to February 1st I lost 32 pounds, I think it was. So I was losing a pound a day, and most of it in a couple days I lost just a little over a pound a day. So I know some doctors say that's not healthy, but they say that because your electrolytes get out of balance and it causes issues. But it's also why I take magnesium vitamin supplement with it, and that helps to balance your electrolytes in your body, because magnesium is one sodium's one, potassium's one, and I actually I've been taking a Hydroxycut. I think it's Hydroxycut Hardcore Fat Loss. I did that with last year, and I'm doing it again this year. So I just want to get that started today, and I'll keep posting updates probably every month. I'll give you an update of where I'm at. I'm gonna take a picture without a shirt, and the pictures I'm including are without a shirt. So if those are offended by a heavy-set person without a shirt on, sorry, but I am what I am. I'm heavy-set, and it's all a matter of we got to do something about it. And even during my time in the Army, if I would have known about keto, it would have made my time in the Army so much better, because I struggled with my weight in the Army even. And part of that was because I had messed up my back in basic training, and they pushed me through to permanent party and got through AIT and basic training, doing the 20-mile ruck marches and the 10 to 12-mile runs and all that with a vertebrae slipping in and out of place. And that's because I fell face first into a safety net in basic training from about 12 feet up. I was bent in half backwards and snapped the little wings on the vertebrae. I can't think of what they're called, but the little wings on the vertebrae that lock it in place. And that made it to where my vertebrae would kind of shift around and wouldn't lock together. I broke 3 of the wings off between 2 vertebrae, and it really gave me crazy instability in my back. They said if I wouldn't have had such strong back muscles at the time, that I probably would have ended up paralyzed from it. But I have nerve damage and all from that, and even ended up with more nerve damage when I had broke the bottom 2 bolts on my first surgery, helping my daughter bowl and standing up and slipping, landing on my butt. And I literally sheared the bottom 2 bolts, the titanium bolts, off right at the surface level of the bone, and still have the threaded parts of the bolts in my back from that, because they couldn't actually get them out, so they just kind of ground them smooth. But I had to go about a year waiting on the VA to take care of it and get it fixed, and seeing different doctors and different appointments, and losing a job over it, and all the appointments, because the job I was working, you could only miss 3 days in a year, and that was it, and you were fired. And I lost a job because I had multiple appointments getting my back and my shoulder checked out, because I was waiting for a shoulder repair from the VA as well. And I got my shoulder repair after, I think it was after my second back surgery. But I went a year with the bolts shifting around in my back and kind of clicking and grinding and doing more nerve damage. So that made my situation even worse. Now, if I walk too much, I get I get kicked into sciatic pain and have a sciatic event that can sometimes last up to 2 weeks. I even had one that lasted almost a month, and it was horrible. I'm walking around with a cane, so I kind of have to keep the cane on standby, and can't do like Silver Dollar City, walking around the whole thing anymore like I used to be able to do, and water parks or anything like that. I can't do too much walking, so I have to have the old man cart, as my wife calls it, or been times where she had to push me around and me wheeling around in a wheelchair because they ran out of the electric scooters. So luckily my in-laws gave us a electric wheelchair that was my wife's grandfather's when he passed away. I need to replace the batteries in it because they're kind of toast and won't hold a charge, but it's a decent chair anyway, so that helps out to where if we go, we don't have to worry about whether or not a place will have them for me to rent. But even when I was down to like 208, 210, and I could walk twice as far as I can at the heavier weight, I still couldn't do more than a couple miles in a day without on my iPhone, I was tracking it. And when it said I got to about 6,000 steps is when I would start getting into sciatic pain. And I was able to get close to 10,000 when I got down to my lighter weights, but that's really not a lot whenever you think about actual just steps. And doing stairs, that's horrible on my back. So luckily our church has an elevator in it, so I don't have to really do a whole lot of stairs. But pretty much anything that makes my pelvis kind of rock back and forth can end up sending me into sciatic problems. So I got to be careful with ladders, and which is why when I hunt and I'm hunting in a tree stand with a ladder, I have to limit how many times I go out and how often, because I end up in sciatic problems. And then if I get a deer, got to drag it back. It gets to be a pain, so I enlist my son, or now we have a donkey that I can actually enlist if I need to. So, but he's not really trained for it, so basically got to entice him along with some treats. But I have to work smart, not hard. But as I lose weight, I can actually work more or do more with less pain. And just my general pain, previously when I was up at my max, like over 280, I was having trouble even just getting out of bed in the morning just from being heavy. And I'm starting to get back to where getting out of bed in the mornings is really tough. And when I was down at my lightest, I was almost able to jump right out of bed in the morning, it seemed like. And I love the feeling on keto where I didn't have the hunger. I was almost felt full all the time, even if I was fasting. And I wouldn't even really get hungry until late in the day. I could go 18 to 20 hours without getting hungry, and kind of just had to eat because I knew my body needed it. So I like that I wasn't having those cravings and struggling with that, and I want to get back to that. And part of that is I'm also going to try to eat wild as much as I can, whether it's rabbit or squirrel or fish or deer, just whatever I can hunt. Just get some good lean proteins in. Still need the fats, so relying on butter and coconut oil, stuff like that. But I love the keto diet because it's super effective, and you can lose so much weight so fast and not have to really work at it, which I can't really do a whole lot of exercise. I can do some upper body, but my doctor told me I shouldn't lift more than 40 pounds for the rest of my life. And limited to 40 pounds when you went from being a person that could bench over 300. I think my max was 330 before. And I mean, just being able to do that and loving to lift weights, I can't do that anymore. And it's really tough to be limited to 40 pounds for the rest of your life. And I mean, some people say, well, if you lose 40 more pounds, and can't you do 80? Well, no, it's still the extra weight pulling on your spine. So, I mean, if it's something where I'm not having to put the weight on my spine, I can lift it, like being able to bench press. So, like when we went to a hotel, I used a bench press machine, and I enjoyed it, but I don't have a bench press machine. So, got a Bowflex that's in parts, taken apart, putting a extra building we got that I got to work on putting together. But I love doing exercise. I just always hated doing the running and stuff like that, but now I can't run, and I'd love to. So, I mean, I tried to run a little bit when I was doing the keto diet last year, and I was running 2 to 3 miles on it, and then I'd be down for a week or two because it was hurting my back, the impact and all that, even on a treadmill. So we got a elliptical to help with that. And just kind of going on this keto journey, and hope you'd follow along with me and help me be accountable, because I mean, if you don't have anybody to help you keep accountable, it's easy to slip right back into snack cakes and soda like crazy, and which is one of my biggest downfalls is soda. Luckily I don't smoke anymore, which I've been cigarette free since 2013, and I feel great from that. But just another addictive behavior, and soda's one of those addictive behaviors. So I'd rather, if I'm going to be addicted to something, I'd rather be addicted to health and fitness instead of the bad things for you. And all that takes is just training your mind to get used to something or like the feeling of something. And I was liking the feeling of being healthy, and I just let depression get to me and knock me down to where I was just kind of going back into the emotional eating, and got to stop that. So this is my journey, and I'm going to add that along with our farm blog, because it's, I guess we'd call it farm fit, because there's a lot that takes a lot of energy and exercise to get through a day just on regular farm chores or projects, and it helps build some fitness, but I can't do that as easy when I'm heavier. So gotta lose the weight again. So again, I'm going to show those pictures, and they are shirtless, so I'm sorry if you're squeamish, just giving you a heads up before they show up. So anyway, here's the pictures right here. This one is me from 280.4 down to like 208 or 210. I'm sorry I didn't get a picture at 202. And here's a picture of side by side of my face. We call it carb face and keto face, between one of my skinnier times. I even throw up a picture here of my skinny face, which kind of freaked my wife out that I shaved. So she doesn't like looking at me without a beard, because she says I got a baby face. She actually wouldn't look at me for a week. She'd just start glancing at me and she'd turn away. She's like, "You look so weird." So couldn't even get a kiss from her for a week. So I learned my lesson, don't shave. Anyway, thanks for joining me for the truck talk. I got some stuff I got to get done. Got to do some running today. Going to be taking some goats to the school. My wife is a teacher, teaches first grade, so she's teaching an after-school program as well, and that's where we're taking the goats to. So later in the day, I got to take a couple of our baby goats over and let the kids meet them and visit them and love on them and give them treats, and then yeah, that's pretty much my day. So that and working on our bathroom, which I haven't really shown on there on the channel yet. So we did a complete bathroom gut and remodel over quarantine, and quarantine's over here in Missouri, and it's still not done. So it's one of the downsides of being disabled, is you kind of got to work as your back would allow. So a project that would take a crew maybe 3 days to do would take me 6 months. And actually, it's been over 6 months now. So we're almost approaching the 8 or 9 month mark right now. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Click the subscribe button, turn on that bell, get the notifications going so you can know when I put up a new video. Share it with your friends, and maybe watch it a few times, put it on replay and loop it, and whether you're watching it or not, which I know that's kind of scamming the AdSense stuff, but trying to get me to being monetized. So share with your friends. I'm going to post on Instagram that I put up a video and about the journey that I'm planning. So thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.